Browns day 2 of rookie minicamp, our last day out here. They will hold one more day of practice on Sunday. But of course, the headliners today were the quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel spoke first, then Shedeur Sanders spoke next. So let's kind of go through one by one here. Let's start with Dillon Gabriel, Mary Kay. Obviously, sort of a weird setting because a bunch of cameras, a bunch of national reporters. Unfortunately, Dillon, they weren't here for you, but you were there, you were talking to people, and Mary Kay, what did you think of how Dillon kind of handled the whole situation?
I thought he handled it pretty well. He is here with Shedeur getting all of the attention, all of the spotlight, and I actually thought that Dillon answered those questions pretty well. He downplayed the fact that he's not getting the run, not getting the attention, trying to say that we want to keep the quarterback room tight-knit. We're not going to let the outside noise impact us. I'm not going to get involved in that kind of stuff. He had great things to say about Shedeur Sanders, and he's focused on the work, and he says he's keeping things simple. So I think he handled it pretty well.
Yeah, Ashley, it was kind of creating this environment of having 4 quarterbacks all working together, making each other better, but also acknowledging that this is a competition, and yeah, he kind of does want to win it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of my takeaway too, everything that Mary Kay said. I thought, though, maybe this was just my first impression. In the way he downplayed it, like, I do wonder if it is going to be something that bothers him, but I think that would be a question we would be asking of any other rookie if they were in a room with Shedeur Sanders, just because with Shedeur, like, he's used to this kind of stuff, right? Dillon is not, and I'm curious to see how it's going to go. But yeah, I think like the downplaying it, the focusing on the, hey, I'm only worried about football, that's a good strategy for him, and we'll see how it holds up.
Now, Shedeur Sanders, I think one of the things we've certainly learned is he always delivers when he stands behind the microphones. Now, I don't know how much more we're going to hear from Shedeur Sanders before training camp, but Mary Kay, he struck a very confident tone. You know, he kind of does this thing where he's very confident, but also very humble, very engaging, kind of all the things we've come to know about Shedeur Sanders.
Right. He's got charisma. He's got star power. He's got bling around his neck. He's got a megawatt smile. He is everything that you would expect him to be when you get a chance to talk to him. And of course, he grew up in the prime time spotlight. All of the Sanders have. They are built for this. They are used to this. And every single time I've ever heard Shedeur Sanders talk in a setting like this, he's absolutely nailed it. And it reminds me a lot of Johnny Manziel and how he used to handle these press conferences. Johnny was very, very polished, and he knew how to handle these things, and he knew how to navigate all of the questions that were coming at him, and I thought Shedeur aced it today.
Yeah, and I will say this, the one thing about it, obviously there's some show there. There's some flash there. I mean, this is a guy that was wearing a chain that had his little S2 logo on the back of it, of course. But Ashley, it does feel pretty authentic with Shedeur, too, when he kind of talks about his approach to being part of the team, wanting to get to know his teammates, all of that.
It does, and my impressions of him, I've always said this since the Combine, have been, yes, there's flash, but I feel like there is also substance there when he talks. And I do think so much of it goes back to this has been his life for so long, growing up with Deion, not just as his dad, but as his coach and his coach throughout college. So that's been a very, very much an effort on their part to get him ready for these kind of things, this scrutiny, this attention. And I think you see it on days like today.
Now, let's talk about a couple of the other draft picks. Mason Graham, for the second time in 3 years, we have seen a drafted lineman puke during practice. It was a warmer day. It wasn't like scorching hot, but it was probably the warmest day that we've had here in a while. And Mary Kay, it certainly affected. I saw guys taking more water breaks, and it certainly affected Mason.
Well, it did, and I remember back when DeJuan Jones threw up during his rookie minicamp. I remember asking him what that was all about, and he said he ate too close to going out there and practicing. And Kevin Stefanski basically said today that's what happened to Mason Graham. He called it too many chicken wings, and so he may have learned a little bit of a lesson. It was kind of gross. We actually saw the graphic aftermath of this whole thing. Our photographer Josh Gunter got some great shots of the actual act. And then we saw, or at least I saw, Mason Graham taking one of those Gatorade bottles and rinsing out the helmet. I mean, it was just, he had to apologize to the offensive linemen because they took a little bit of shrapnel. So this was just one of those days, but I will say this about Mason Graham. He got right back out there and he started practicing again right after he got that helmet all rinsed off.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons I could never be an NFL player, but one of them is I just don't deal with puke well, so I would not be able to do what Mason Graham did. Now, Ashley, another rookie did make a big play today, and that was Carson Schwesinger, the number 33 overall pick, linebacker. He intercepted a Dillon Gabriel pass, probably the best play we saw from a defender this weekend.
Yeah, and I think it's encouraging when you remember the things they like about Carson Schwesinger, which obviously it's his coverage ability. It's his ability, I think, they hope to make those kind of plays. Now, granted, no pass rush, no hitting, all of the things we always say about rookie minicamp. But it's good to see the number 33 overall pick make a play like that during a team period. I think that's what you want.
Okay, we will have full coverage of everything that happened over these 2 days, and then we've got OTAs, we've got minicamp coming up here over the next month. We'll cover everything Browns at cleveland.com/Browns.